Hey everyone, and welcome to Book Lovers Unite. Today we are diving deep into a Christian classic that has totally reshaped how so many people think about being single, Lady in Waiting by Jackie Kendall and Debbie Jones. We're going to unpack its central game-changing idea. What if this whole season of waiting isn't actually about waiting at all?
So let me ask you this. Does being single ever feel like you're just stuck in life's waiting room? You know the feeling, right? You're just there, kind of flipping through old magazines, just waiting for someone to call your name so your real life can finally begin. If you've ever felt that, even for a second, then the message of this book is for you.
Okay, so let's get right into the first big idea. The book argues that so many of us get caught in this waiting room trap. We start to believe that marriage is the finish line, the thing that will finally make us happy. But here's where the authors drop a bit of a bombshell. Marriage doesn't solve your problems. It's actually like a giant magnifying glass for them. If you're not content while you're single, getting married isn't some magic fix.
So if that's the problem, then what's the solution? Well, the book proposes this huge mindset shift. Stop focusing on finding the right person and start focusing on becoming the right person. And the entire framework for how to do this is built around the incredible biblical story of a woman named Ruth.
This is what the authors call the Ruth Principle. Just think about her story for a minute. She was a widow in a foreign land with basically nothing. She had every reason to be bitter or to desperately search for a new husband. But instead, she focused on serving her mother-in-law and working hard. And here is the key takeaway. Boaz, her future husband, noticed her because she was busy with her purpose, not because she was out there trying to get his attention.
So that's a great principle. But how do we actually put it into practice? The book breaks it down into these key qualities to work on, and we're going to zero in on three of the big ones: developing a heart of faith, a life of purity, and a spirit of diligence.
This brings us to a really fundamental choice the book lays out. Are you going to be a lady of faith or a lady of fret? We all know the lady of fret, right? She's the one trying to force things to happen, overanalyzing every single text message, and just simmering in anxiety. But the lady of faith, she's different. She trusts the process. This isn't about being passive. It's about having this deep, unshakable peace that comes from trusting in a plan that's way bigger than her own.
And the book puts it so bluntly with this quote: "Manipulation is the enemy of romance." I mean, wow. When you try to force a connection, when you try to play games to make something happen, you actually destroy the very thing you're hoping for. Real romance, the book says, just can't be engineered. The second key is purity, but the book expands this idea way beyond just the physical. It introduces this crucial concept of emotional purity. Think about it. How often do we give our hearts away and emotionally invest in someone who has zero commitment to us? The book argues that this just leaves us feeling drained, exhausted, and broken into a million little pieces. The idea here is to treat your heart like it's valuable, because it is.
All right, and the third key? Diligence smashes a huge misconception about waiting. The book is so clear on this point. In this context, waiting is not passive. Waiting is an active verb.
I mean, really think about this season of life. It's maybe the only time your time is 100% your own. So the question is, what are you doing with it? Are you letting your gifts and talents collect dust while you wait for a partner to show up? This book challenges you to use this time to grow, to serve, to learn, to build something, just like Ruth was doing out in that field.
This all leads us to one of the most memorable and, let's be honest, kind of hilarious concepts in the whole book. It's all about learning how to choose a Boaz over a bozo. And really, it's a brilliant framework for raising your standards.
And the contrast could not be more stark. A Boaz is a man of character, a man of integrity. He's a protector. He's spiritually mature. A bozo, well, he's a clown. He's lazy, disrespectful, spiritually immature. And the book makes the powerful point that way too many people settle for a bozo simply because they're afraid of being alone.
This quote just perfectly captures the whole idea. The book argues that being in a bad marriage is so much harder and more painful than being single. Your worth is never, ever defined by your relationship status.
And ultimately, all of these ideas, faith, purity, diligence, they all point to the book's deepest and most profound goal: becoming a lady of contentment. This isn't about finding a partner anymore. It's about finding your ultimate joy and satisfaction in God.
And here it is. This is probably the book's most terrifying and most important question. Can you honestly look at your life and say that if you never get married, God is enough? The book argues that until the answer to that question is a deep and honest yes, any relationship you enter is in danger of becoming an idol that you'll end up crushing with expectations no human can possibly meet.
So this is the ultimate goal the book presents. You're not looking for someone to complete you or fill some empty space in your heart. No. The goal is to become so whole, so filled with joy and purpose on your own, that you're looking for a partner to share your overflow with. And that, according to the authors, is the real foundation for a healthy, beautiful relationship.
So, to wrap it all up, Lady in Waiting is way less of a dating manual and much more of a roadmap for personal and spiritual growth. It's all about reframing waiting from passive to active, focusing on becoming, not just finding, cultivating your character, saying no to the bozos, and finding that deep contentment first and foremost. Now, I would love to hear from you. Reading through this, which of these areas hits home the most? Do you find yourself being the lady of fret, just constantly anxious about the future? Or maybe it's the lady of idleness, feeling kind of stuck and unmotivated.
Let's be real and just create a space for some encouragement. Head down to the comments and share your thoughts. Let's really support each other on this journey because none of us are in it alone.
If this breakdown helped you out, it would mean so much if you could hit that thumbs up button and, of course, subscribe to Book Lovers Unite for more deep dives into life-changing books. And sharing this with a friend who might need to hear it is truly the best way to support what we do here.
Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And please, never ever forget this final truth. You are absolutely worth waiting for. I'll see you in the next explainer.